I don't like to teach critical thinking. I like to teach effective thinking. My complaint with critical is it only emphasizes the negative parts, being careful not to make mistakes. But actually thinking that we're trying to teach is having students be able to come up with new ideas, new insights, be curious, be creative. One of the features that I like to think about is what specific practices of mind I'm trying to encourage students to adopt. To me, part of these are understanding fundamentals deeply. That is so significant. I'm in the Department of Mathematics. Returning to basics and seeing those fundamental features with more nuance as you become more advanced in your subject is incredibly significant. It can be built into the whole curriculum, and it can be built into individual courses or even individual lessons. Another one that's important is teaching curiosity, teaching people to raise questions. So one very practical tip that I like to give teachers, and I practice myself, is the following. If you want people to be curious, ask them to ask questions. And don't just say, are there any questions? That is not effective because only people who are assertive will respond. So instead, what I do is I say, everybody think of a question. I want people to always have questions. And then I say, talk to your neighbor, compose your questions better, and then I just pick people at random from the class to read their questions. Everybody's participating. So raising questions is important. But one of the most productive strategies for learning is to learn from mistakes and to learn from failure. Every creative success I know is built on the ash heap of failed attempts. And so we want to encourage people to embrace the idea that missteps are part of success. I'll give you a very trivial example that I think you'll enjoy. Suppose that I sometimes teach people these practices of mind through teaching, having them work on puzzles. So here's a puzzle for you. Suppose you and I have the same amount of money in our pocket. How much money must I give you so that you will have $10 more than I have? When people first think of this question, they say, well, give me $10. Well, it turns out that's not correct, but by doing that and exploring the consequences, you'll see exactly how to correct your thinking and make it right. So that's a trivial example. I was teaching this to my students in my signature class, and one of them came up at the end of the class and said, I want to thank you for your lesson on mistakes. And I said, really, why? What happened? And she said, well, I've been trying to write a paper, and I don't know how to write it. And I've been stuck. And I said, oh, well, what did you learn? And she said, well, I now know exactly what to do. I said, what? She said, I'm going to go home and write a bad paper. What a great lesson. And it's not that you write the bad paper and then throw away the parts that don't work. You look at the errors and you say, what is defective about that particular feature? Is the word not the right word? Is the reasoning not cogently framed? And then you're on the path to success. So to me, framing assignments and individual lessons throughout the day so that regularly students have the experience, the arc from mistakes to success, is a way to give the students the sense that missteps are one of the features on the road to success.